Hello, everybody. This is Garrett, tears2joyministries.org. This video is called, Do Christians Have Free Will? Part 10, Jesus Christ. In this video, I want to use God's incredible, amazing, holy Son, Jesus, as an example to dive even deeper into this entire free will topic. So let's get started. I want to keep the video short. Children of God, did you know that Jesus left heaven to come down to earth to be born in a baby only to do God's will? Did you know that? Have you learned that in the Bible yet? I say it again. Jesus left heaven, came into a baby, was born, grew up into a young man, 30 years old approximately, only to do God's will. Now, I want to show you a couple scriptures in the Bible that I pray are going to super bless you. So let's get started because I want to show you in the Bible what I'm talking about, please. Okay, here we go. Let's get started. Let's go to John 6:38. This is Jesus speaking. Jesus says, "For I have come down from heaven not to do my will, but to do the will of him who sent me." There it is. John 6:38. We can end the whole video right now. Jesus is telling us he left heaven to come down to earth not to do his will, but to do the will of his Father who sent him. Now, children of God, let me ask you a question. If God's own Son did not have free will, what makes you think that you do? In other words, God's Son, yes, the same guy who runs all of heaven, the same guy who runs all of the earth, the same guy who runs all of the universe, the same guy that runs and controls all of creation came down to earth only to do God's will. Jesus did not have free will. Even God's Son didn't have free will. So what on earth makes you think that you have free will? Children of God, the entire free will topic is one big lie from Satan and the demons. And the lie has been spread worldwide through your pride. In your pride and in your ego, you want to believe you have free will. You want to believe that. And it's all a lie. Even God's own Son, Jesus, our Christ, who has all authority and all power in heaven, on earth, and everywhere else, did not have free will. Okay, now, listen to this. Let's use another scripture. Let's use John 4:34. Jesus is talking here. Jesus says, "My nourishment comes from doing the will of God." Jesus' strength came from doing the will of God. His food, his spiritual food, came from doing the will of God. Jesus only came down to do the will of God. I pray this is blessing you so far. I want to keep the video short. Let's do another scripture real quick. Let's use John 5:30. Jesus says, "I can do nothing on my own. That sentence right there crushes your free will. You can't do anything on your own. Jesus just said so. But let's continue. Jesus says, I judge as God tells me. Therefore, my judgment is just, because I carry out the will of the one who sent me, not my own will. There we have Jesus telling us again that we can do nothing without God's grace. And then at the end of the sentence, we have Jesus telling you, I carry out the will of my Father only, not my own will. Children of God, you are not here on earth to carry out your own will, if that was even possible, and it's not. It's not because you don't have free will. Child of God, you are here to do God's will every single hour, every single minute, and every single second of your life. Man, this is amazing. Look at what Jesus is telling us here. Okay, let's use another scripture. All right, let's use one last scripture. Here is Matthew 26:42. Jesus was about to be captured by the Romans, and he was about to start entering into his suffering. And Jesus says this to his dad. This is Jesus. He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, Oh, my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me except I drink it, thy will be done. Children of God, let me wrap this up. God's own Son, who is the master of the universe, who is the master of all creation, did not have free will. You better believe we don't. If you want to keep living in a dream world, in a fantasy that you have free will, I guess go ahead if you want to. But there is no free will here on earth, and there is no free will anywhere in the universe. Even God's own Son makes that clear to you. Children of God, if you have ears to hear, hear this.